Firstly, happy Heritage Day, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Boks Office. Not so happy for the Springboks in Argentina, but well done to Argentina on a fantastic result. Schalk and Jean de Villiers join me on another episode of the Boks Office, which is now open. Let's grow with each other. Let's build each other up.
We have to.
Let's not break each other down.
Let's grow with each other.
Yes.
Is that your daughter's t-shirt?
Since he's had protein shakes, let's grow together. But you've got to share the love. Yeah. It's not raw, it's a protein shake, quoting Doug.
Ready to go, Jean?
Yes.
Phone off?
No.
A lot of people complaining you're spending a lot of your time on the show on your phone.
He's struggling
What's going
for
on?
words
I'm
today.
struggling for words today. What's going on?
That's 2 hours sleep on the weekend.
Firstly, boys, happy Heritage Day.
Thanks, Shimmie. Bye,
And is it's Heritage Day, not National Braai Day.
Well,
It's Heritage Day.
It's Heritage Day, but we just South Africans, we love to braai.
Yes.
like
Braai is part of our heritage.
It's going to turn into a braai dag for me, for sure.
Yeah, it turns into a braai day.
I'm going to braai for 5
Teams,
hours.
I gotta
She
Sorry,
said,
I've got to start warming up.
Have you guys got a beer for Shimmie, please?
Yeah.
No, it's too early. It's too early. Secret to a good braai, Jean.
good spice
Yeah, which one?
and preparation.
Yes.
Obviously on Freddie's legacy. and good preparation.
Yeah.
Yeah, meat must be ready.
So talk us through your Sunday braai and Paul there. How many people come over?
It depends.
I've been there between 5 and 50.
Apparently he locks you in his house, this guy. You can't leave once you
I know.
get there.
You know what's the
Because he's
best?
got no mates in Paul. So
You
when
know
he
what's
comes-
the
it's
best
like
thing about a
really-
braai? And
John Fritschel, apparently. Like you get locked into the basement there, you can't get out of
It's
it.
just like a nightclub you're based.
I'm not going to say Paul Braai, but Eiserfontein Braai, December, okay?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where you literally light the fire, and then eventually people arrive, whether you invite them or not.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is his house, sometimes it's our house, sometimes it's somewhere else.
No, it's the best.
Those are the
on,
best
on a
parts.
regular week, you know, kids have got school on a Monday.
Yeah.
There's a braai at the de Villiers' household.
We don't braai that much it'll be max once a week.
Yeah.
But when the weather turns, I mean, summertime, yes, you want to open up the stack doors, kids play outside, light the fire. My wife's always the one to encourage, hey, Liz, how about we have a glass of wine?
Like it's not only the wine, it's like she's like a walking tequila fountain.
Oh,
of
really?
hops.
Does she?
So you think you're like
On a Sunday?
Yeah, like a Sunday chilled braai. The next moment you've had a liter of tequila and
No,
you
that's
have to
true.
stay over. That's
Tom,
very true. But John's obviously, he's not part of that. He's replacing his, lack of nutrition with shakes,
With protein.
protein.
Let's grow with each other.
I like it, John.
It's a nice
I
t-shirt.
just have the feeling I'm not
Cool
growing
t-shirt,
together.
very trendy.
We have to grow with each other, guys.
And then, Tom, we had the pleasure of having the latest call time kickoff at 11 o'clock.
That's lovely.
How did you build up to that? How did you...
I
A
was...
couple of brandy and Cokes? Or
No,
relaxed?
I would have loved to prepare like that. Obviously, I had to also watch the show intently with obviously listening to you guys, just the insight. And also
You
being-
record it and just go back a couple of times.
Yeah, no, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Thank you very much
Oh,
for that.
only a pleasure.
I said box by 14.
I said box by 20.
Yeah.
And like, if you could see,
I was shocked when you said that. Scully said box by 20. I was
if
like,
you could
oh,
see my
okay.
face after 13, I was sitting there with the nicest
Yeah,
little grin. And obviously it didn't go that way.
But what I actually want to get, I had diarrhea, and I was vomiting all day.
It's Heritage Day. People at home having a braai. You want to talk about your bad guts.
But what? You asked me what I was doing.
That's
So
what-
should I be
You
lying?
don't want that much detail.
I was sick.
Okay,
I almost,
yeah, say you were sick then.
I almost died.
But I want to know, was it going both?
Was it those protein shakes?
Was it going both
Too
ways?
many protein shakes, I promise you.
Both ways? Or?
What? Yeah, both ways. And I did the double up once as well.
Okay, guys, what are the red flags for braais? If you go to a braai, what are the red
Diarrhea.
flags? No,
That's a red flag.
What we need some red flags. What are the red flags? You go to someone's braai.
Don't take over someone's braai.
No, don't let everyone...
It's like driving. We don't want any backseat drivers.
My biggest culture shock was when I had to buy vegan patties and vegan wors.
We're at your house, at your own braai
We
stand.
went away for a weekend and I actually tasted one of these plant-based sausages. And then I just handed the braai over to whoever brought the vegan patties and wors, and I braaied my own and bailed out. Yeah, it wasn't quite part of my genre. Yeah, it's out of my league. Yeah, I had to double check.
Schala the vegan braai.
You use wood.
There was, unfortunately, there was a lot of wood there, and then they sort of half disintegrated, which apparently was my fault.
And second question, would you do it again?
No.
But you get offended when someone starts dominating the braai at your house.
Yeah.
It's a red flag.
Yeah.
When asked to help, then you help. But you don't just take, you get these guys, they're ultra keen, they sit there, they're waiting for the opportunity.
Well, the guy's telling you what to do.
Yeah, and also to
He's
get
micromanaging you.
Also, you mustn't
That's
be
the
that
worst.
like your wife's calling you, you've got the braaibroodjies on the fire, you've got to turn them quite regularly. You said, listen, partner, just keep an eye on the braaibroodjie for me. And then the guy sits there and forgets about him and you burn your braaibroodjies. That also happens a lot. Predominantly when you ask my brother to do anything surrounding the fire.
But he's down in the drinks.
Yeah, he's downing drinks.
Forgets
Telling
about
stories,
the braai.
forgets about the braai.
We're a global show, so a braaibroodjie, can you explain that to anybody? watching across the
I
world?
guess there's no direct translation. Obviously, Afrikaans is a super
How would you make it,
descriptive
yeah?
thing. I would say it's a barbecue toasty.
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 So how do you
barbecue,
make
so
it?
my English is also...
Someone might want to try it, somewhere across the world. How do you make it?
Barbecue toasty, so get the cheapest white bread,
Yeah?
cheese, onion, tomato, chutney, bit of butter.
Chutney is the secret.
Chutney is the secret.
Mr. Balls.
Bit of butter on the outside, and then you just toast it on
Put
the
it
coals.
together.
So that's the two things, the chutney on the inside and then the butter on the outside.
Makes it nice and
Delicious.
crispy, prevents
see
it
you
from burning.
frothing.
Yeah.
The chutney is the secret.
That's the secret.
The secret.
This is balls if you can get it.
Yeah. Tell me, which old teammate wouldn't you trust behind the braai stand on a braai?
Ooh,
Robbie Fleck, I wouldn't trust.
no.
No, that's easy. Farid Priya.
Yeah, for me.
Why for me?
doesn't lie.
He invites you for a braai because he knows you can braai.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah,
Doesn't like Brian.
Yeah,
Doesn't like braai.
no
And then
chance.
it's like he'd invite you for a braai.
I never thought it would be
He invites you for a braai. Then he goes, are you guys hungry? You guys hungry? Yeah, okay. Let's order Mr. Delivery.
Yeah, no.
Currie, who else? Who else would it be?
um,
Who would be the best behind on the braai?
Schalk's good with the
Yeah.
braai.
I like a braai.
Some reason Flo's name popped up that I wouldn't trust him with the braai.
Yeah, Floki is also good.
Is he
yeah.
good? Oh,
Yeah,
really?
Floki is really good.
Okay.
Then you're treated like a Frans Malherbe. for
Bonnie's
example.
good. John's good.
Yeah, well.
What do you mean, oh well?
Like I think
John's good.
we
We had a braai actually before that 200K walk.
oh yeah.
We had a braai at John's house, and then I think at 3 or 4 in the morning, we thought it was a good idea to open a bottle of whiskey
Yes.
before a 200-kilometer walk.
And,
What a good
and
idea.
talk to me. When did you start regretting the bottle of whiskey? The next morning? How far into it?
2Ks into a 200.
Blister.
Yeah, blister, everything. That was pretty harsh.
You know who enjoys a braai as well, and talks about it a lot as well and loves it? Frans Steyn.
We are.
Frans Steyn also.
But he's out on the farm though, isn't he also?
Yeah.
I think me and
The
John.
guys generally wouldn't
in
on the
December
farms.
we specialize in the 5-hour braai.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's our speciality.
No, 5 hours, maybe longer. You know what's the best braai?
Did
Is
that-
when you light your fire, you cook your meat, but then you braai again later.
What you doing in between the braai?
You have a couple of drinks, share some stories.
You played with a lot of the Argentinians. They're good. They're good on the braai.
They're awesome. Yeah.
They're proper. They're incredible.
We had at Saracens we had Juan Figolo,
Yeah.
and someone's missus.
Someone's phoning you there,
Shimmie?
Shimmie.
No,
Would
no,
you
you
want to
can-
take
You
it?
can take
No,
it
that's
if you
fine.
want to.
No.
can
So
put
Tang,
on
he's
silent.
going. No, he's busy.
Juan Figolo.
Working hard,
and then, and then he built his own little braai where he sort of hangs everything up top.
Yeah.
And it was the best day. We sort of opening of the
Was he
season.
the prop, Scarlett?
Prop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prop played a few tests for Argentina, quite a few. And the other Argentinian we had out there was Marcelo Bosch.
Yeah.
So we had them, and then every year Mako and Billy Vanapola invited us for the pig under the ground.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's hangi. It's a hangi, isn't it? Yeah.
And I mean, as luck would have it, we were done before the pig every year.
But the pig under that's like 5. That's a whole
That's
day
the
event.
entire day,
Because you
exactly.
dig a hole, you
Yeah.
heat up the rocks, put the rocks on with the leaves, put the pig in, you cover it again,
But Shimmie,
and then you just wait.
I think that's the key to it, is that, for us also, a braai is actually not, it's not about the eating. It's about the socializing around. It's like lighting the fire, sitting around the fire, talking nonsense, having a drink. It's a social element more than the eating eventually. The eating sometimes never even happens.
No.
You light a fire for the atmosphere. And I think that's where people, I can remember when I was in Ireland, and now it's like between Christmas and New Year's, and my parents were over. Now we have a braai. I try to have a braai in Ireland. It's snowing, literally, but we have this bar outside.
Wood, no wood.
We get wood. We get the firelighter, but the fire dies because it's so cold.
Well,
To eventually get the meat cooked was like almost impossible. We did it eventually.
How did the Vinipolas get that done in London?
They had in the back of the yard there.
Yeah.
We were not quite London, Hertfordshire,
Yeah.
Albans. And then dig a little hole in the garden.
The tuialagi. The
Oh, yeah, you would have
tuialagi,
experienced it also,
same
Nathan.
thing, eh?
Yeah.
They get for Christmas, then they go like a pig, like a lamb on the spit, like a whole.
That's a starter.
That's
Like, you've got to enjoy it in the UK because like that winter's coming. Once the winter comes, like, you're not braaiing. I did. But it wasn't fun.
But the guys love it though.
No,
a lot of the South African guys miss it.
Do you
I think
like-
that's yeah?
Sorry, Shimmie.
Do you
I'm
like to braai?
interrupting you again.
Yeah. Every Sunday I try braai. Generally.
Nice.
Steak.
I must say, like,
Usual.
also, like, it's the whole day drinking experience which gets me. Like, there's nothing more.
Beers.
Beers, wines. I've got one coming up tomorrow. Got a couple of mates coming across.
Yeah.
Can't
Right,
wait.
yesterday fell asleep I think at 6 in the afternoon because I was bloody
Yeah, but
tired.
that was not your fault.
Yeah,
eh?
that's from that 5 o'clock. Checked in the hotel at 2.
Like, I don't think it's ever happened before. We checked in and checked out simultaneously into a hotel. Me and you did it on Sunday morning.
When are you going to open your eyes?
My eyes are wide open. Just checked in at 2 a.m. I think I'm still tired.
Yeah.
No, you are. You look
We're
tired.
driving through Joburg, what, 2 in the morning.
Sober.
Watching all the 1 or 2 car crashes on the side.
We saw a couple of car crashes on the way
Jesus.
back from Randburg to Hyde Park, but then we checked in and checked out. I've never had such a fright when your alarm went off. My alarm went off a couple of hours after heading in there, but like I basically jumped this high.
The problem is I didn't sleep on the flight because I got stuck into this bloody Sprint thing on Netflix.
Is that any good, guys?
It's
You've
very
watched
It's
it?
good. It's very good.
It's very good, yeah. I watched it prior to the Olympics, and now you watch the race, the races at the Olympics, with like a different view. And it's amazing also to see, especially the women's side, how all the Jamaicans they featured in the documentary, how they didn't come through actually at the Olympics.
No, it was, that's kept me awake. So that was probably the first mistake I made.
Were you a sprinter at school?
No. I wasn't slow. Were you a sprinter?
Yeah,
What, 100, 200?
100.
Scala, you cross country.
Yeah. I was no sprinter.
Cross country.
It was the longer distance vibe, eh?
Yeah,
The 3,000 meter.
Yeah, the Scala had an engine. That's one thing. Well,
What do you mean? Schalk sprinted for a full 80 minutes.
Same pace.
Sprinted 80 minutes straight. The world can do that.
No, I was not an athlete at all. Not shot put, no discus, no nothing.
What
Just the 3,000 meter. Yeah.
Can you believe CJ van der Linde
Yeah,
ran
yeah.
the 100 for Grey College?
Yeah.
Grey Bloem, sorry.
Yeah.
He ran the 100 final.
Great
That-
college,
that
great
doesn't-
blue.
yeah.
Same thing. Sorry, Grey PE is Grey High School. Sorry,
Yeah.
my
No,
mistake.
I don't feel
Sorry,
so
guys.
bad because I intercepted in touches once and he ran me in from behind and I thought, this is how tight he caught me.
It would be interesting if we had like 100 meters, we could pick who would be the fastest prop. CJ, Guthrow could run.
Guthrie is also quite quick.
France Malova.
No, France is. Ox could go. Ox
Even
could go.
Kitsi probably.
Kitsi would be interesting. trying to think who the other fast ones. Kunu from the Sharks.
Yeah.
Jan-Hendrik Wessels.
Yeah,
Does he count as a prop?
He could be the winner.
Yeah.
Jan-Hendrik Wessels could be the winner.
Yeah, he's proper explosive. Eh?
Yeah, he did well when he came on. I was actually a little bit, there was a worry about that, but he did well.
Yeah. The best dancing prop is Trevor Nyakane.
Big time.
100%.
Currie Cup final, he was world class.
Yeah, he loves it. Picks
He was
his
dan-
moments.
he was dan-
Picks his moments.
Picks his moments.
He was
yeah.
dancing again on the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharkies, well done.
Lions, Chivas, unbelievable.
Yeah, the Lions won the game but lost the Currie Cup.
Sure.
We were shocked because we were on a flight, and then
Yeah.
by the time you land, you know, you usually put your phone on, then you hear all the comments. You're like, what the hell happened there?
But did you see the end to
Yeah,
that?
we got to studio and then they showed it to us.
I mean, like the coach said in Corsi, he said we were Currie Cup champions for 10 seconds. I mean, that maul, how do you, how do you not, and look at the ref, he like goes, he wants to blow the whistle for collapse, maul, and then the ball pops out.
That was painful.
But like you go through this, you go through every time you play a final, we played a final, went through these scenarios. How do you close a game out? You know, you've got X amount of minutes left. Is it kick to touch? Go into a pick and go? What's your game management strategy? Is it like trying to exit a ruck? You don't just bang it straight. You play time. How many rucks can you put together? You know, every team's got a different, you know, approach to it. But like you get there, they obviously they've got is it JC Pretorius at Rudder? And no 9 to get it off the top to kick it out. No release valve at the back like a 14. They go for the maul, which is probably not a bad call. But then the maul goes so aggressive, so far forward, where I'm almost like, the game's over. You get it back, have your 9 there, or at least have your 9 there. We can top it off the top, kick it out. Don't go into the risk of, you know, and they got the hard part. They got the line out.
But you think of finals that have been lost. I always think of the Sharks against the Bulls, where Brian scored.
Yeah.
Remember that? I mean, that was. I think the Sharks just needed the one conversion. I think the France stayed. Someone missed it. Was it France?
France missed it.
Rowan, missed that.
But also then
they got that kick.
In that final facet of play, they had a chance.
Derek Keane got the turn. Was it Derek Keane got the
turnover
at the ruck?
There was a chance for them to get it off the field. It didn't get off the field. And then Brian Banner scores the winner.
No one could stop the Bulls after that.
Yeah.
Guys, let's talk about Argentina Springboks. 17-0 up. How did you manage to lose that?
I don't know if the Boks has ever led 17-0 and thrown it away. Also, I don't think we can remember in recent history where we've conceded 4 tries in the space of 20 minutes, which we did on the weekend. You know, I think credit to Argentina, the way they attacked us. You know, a lot of change of directions, like late sweeps through Albanos. Also, you know, we see there's a trend now attacking like Apilla, our second defender. You know, Ireland did it against us with those goal line kick-out receipts. But yeah, our defense is not quite what it was. And you can see that there's almost like, I think we mentioned in our previous episode, where there's 2 speeds to us now, where we always used to come and push quite deep and hard. You know, they always had the release valve when they're playing that second man play out the back with their wingers. Delguy, quite prominent in that, you know.
And what was the other one? Carreras.
Carreras.
Yeah.
You know, like for us, you know, if our defense is like that, because it was quite easy for them to skin us with this late sweeps and, you know, playing that inside balls. But geez, credit to them, you know, they can attack. And you think about it, you know, that malfunctioning line-out when Eben came on, because he started moving around, so a lot more dynamic in the line-out. Their scrum was really under the pump from the get-go, and somehow they managed to get a result out of that game, which is incredible. And you can't see them getting it again this weekend if their line-out malfunctions and their scrums under pressure in South Africa. I think we'll get more reward off the back of it. But like if you're the Boks and you look at the first 13 minutes, you go like, that's the most perfect start you can have to a game. And we've been going on and about the Boks starts, and they would have been going on like our starts hasn't been good. You know, like against Ireland, we were poor from the get-go. So too against New Zealand. And then we found a way how to fight ourselves back in. And this weekend was the opposite.
I think the bigger concern also, loads of missed tackles, one-on-one missed tackles, which we're not used to from the Boks. And then,
that stat was high. I think we missed like 27 first time.
It seemed like the system was right, but the individual.
No, but then system as well. System as well, I'm just putting a question mark around, because we saw against New Zealand how, and maybe even going back to the Ireland game, how we got beaten in the outside channels at times, and we saw it again this weekend. But and then second to that, again going back to the Ireland game, around the ruck pillar, the second pillar kind of area. So those are kind of the 2 areas in the field where we got exposed on the weekend drastically. And then add to that, you know, the missed tackles, individual missed tackles, you know, that leads to 4 tries being conceded in 20 minutes. So I think it's fixable. I do think it's fixable, but it's certainly from an individual tackling point of view, but then the system thing, and very much at times you could see just not as in sync as we used to in terms of our line speed defensively.
Oh, look, I mean,
Is the line speed gone, or is it still? It seems like we're a bit more, if I'm not mistaken, a bit more passive. But you get 1 or 2 rushes though.
I think it's there, but we're not completely linked up. So, like, you'll see the line speed going, but we're not as in sync. And in the past, I think we had one speed.
Yeah.
And that's just flat out go and get them. Doesn't matter how far back the ball is. Doesn't matter how narrow we are. And we're still quite narrow at times. But now it's almost like there's go up, but there's somewhere there's a call we sort of press and use the touchline as our safety net, get to a wide ruck and then go and get them. But yeah, on the weekend, like it was just a bit more, like where we saw it, Caden Moody was obviously exposed down at Newlands, for, missing the jump, not being, the alignment not being perfect.
Was that test at Newlands I missed?
Sorry.
Was it, I mean,
Sorry,
I
Cape
don't know.
Town,
What's
Cape
the
Town
test at
Stadium. Sorry, DHL Cape Town Stadium.
I don't know.
Sorry, I'm a traditionalist.
So used to,
You're traditionalist.
So used to, sorry. Sorry, I like a CD still and a book. So not Newlands, sorry, Newlands. That would have been, that would be like playing in the crew.
yes, imagine playing a game there now.
Yeah.
I wanted to say something, I totally forgot. There goes.
Come there, it's protein.
There goes.
You want a protein shake too? Okay, we'll leave the protein jokes out.
Look, I mean,
That's just what I wanted to say. Sorry. I saw a couple of times, because I think a lot of the calls would come from the outside, and especially the 13 channel. So you actually saw Jesse a couple of times where he almost had his hands out like this, and the communication probably being out there just to hold more till you're numbered up, and then you can press again. And I think it is I think once you get it right, in terms of the speed, and you've got the ability to adapt according to the situation, then you can be really effective. But the fact that we're changing the team, the personnel so much,
about that,
it does make it more difficult. Whereas you cast your mind back to the World Cup final, and I think we mentioned it once on the show as well. I can remember that one time where Peter Steph de Toy, New Zealand were man up. He was caught on the left wing. They had numbers. He made the decision because that's the only way smash Jordan Barrett, opportunity lost. So it'll be interesting to see where the Boks go from here and whether they revert back to that or whether they can't do that.
I think there's one that will haunt us a bit, and that's where, we took Ben Jason Dixon out of the scrum. So a 7-man scrum. Ben Jason Dixon then went to scrum half. Kobus Reinach went to wing, and I think that's the Matera try, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they went wide, midfield ruck,
and then they we were soft off that defence anyway, off the first phase defence, even though we obviously now were numbered up as a back line, so we're soft.
And a soft tackle in that first phase.
And a soft tackle of the first phase, then they came back headed up, and then they came with that sweep again, shoulder balls, second man play, and then Andre Pollard, Jesse's there. I think in the past Jesse would have shoot past, get the man in behind, Andre will close with him. But then also Kobus Reinach's out of position, so he's on wing. He would close with, and then we sort of, we know where. Jesse sort of goes, pushes past. Henry then misses the ball out the back, and Kobus then is in between the last two attackers. He hasn't closed early enough. So I think that's the one that will hound us. There's a lot of system errors in that specific try. It doesn't matter if you change around, the numbers. If we have it again, I think we'll target the scrum. Be soft off first defence, and then we're all in position and just fire up. And then if they kick it through and they get a 22 line out because we a winger short, so be it.
But also to understand, Shimmie, if you go back to 2018 when Rassie and Schalk Ninabe took over, so Schalk with his new defensive style. We think when we played England and the tries they scored early on in that game at Ellis Park and a latter stage in those games as well.
3, I think.
4-3.
Or something like that.
So we conceded a lot. So it takes time to get used to a new system. And obviously Jerry Flannery is there now, so it's a different voice. And he will want to. He's working towards something, and it'll take time to eventually get there. So you need to understand it, and that's probably part of the evolution of the team. But just looking at the context of that 20 minutes, that's obviously not the standard that we used to from the box.
But in saying that, I mean, do we put this down to a bad day at the office in terms of defense? Because pre this game, our defense was the best in the rugby championship.
You're going to have
I think we'd only conceded, close to five tries, I think.
Yeah.
You're going to have days like that.
Yeah.
That's part of sport. That's part of rugby. Manie kicks the kick at the end. We win the game.
Yeah.
You know, and would it have been we probably still would have touched on it, you know, but I think, you know, whether he makes the kick or not, you need to understand where the team is going, and we don't know what they're trying to achieve. So, you know, we kind of speculating here as well.
Did Manie rush that kick? I mean, there's a lot of wise men now around kicking. You know, usually he uses that full, whatever, is it 60 seconds? How long is it?
None of us are wise men when it comes to kicking.
Yeah.
We just know what his habits like.
Why you point at me?
Yeah,
None of us, but you especially.
Have you ever kicked a conversion? Have you tried?
No, at sevens, yes.
I once tried a drop goal on penalty advantage, and I got charged. So you couldn't see. I actually struck it quite sweetly. I'm claiming that I struck it sweetly, but you know, like you take Manie, and normally we all sit here and go like he puts himself under pressure with the shot clock. Like he waits till 5 seconds, and then we feel like, you know, just kick it earlier. There's 20 seconds left when he kicked that, and it's almost like, you know, he didn't want to wait it out because in case he missed, we get a second shot at it. Where, you know, if you back yourself, it's a skill set that if you tee it up now for Manie, he kicks it 9 out of 10. 10 out of 10 times probably. It's 30 meters out, just off the right of the upright. So, you know, like he sort of had a snatch at that. That's the feeling you get. You know, just didn't quite follow his system, and that's a mental error. So, you know, like, unfortunately with Manie, and he was so good when he came on, like his tactile kicking was accurate. Yes, he had the one blunder where he tried to get it on the 5. Yes, I think we can always say, listen, just build in a bit of fat, you know, rather miss, you know, on the 5 meter side than you do over the dead ball line. But, you know, it's a pity for him, because that's unfortunately, as a reasonably young international fly, that follows you, you know, that pressure kick, because it's going to come again.
Yeah.
And it's not, you know, we can go through the game and say, listen, that's not the turning point. But at the end of the day, like last year in the World Cup, that's what won us the World Cup. Hanré Pollard kick against England. Yeah. Then you go to the final. Then you realize, okay, but hold on. Bowden Barrett, Mohanga missed 3.
Jordy missed the long one. Yeah,
Jordy Barrett and Mohanga missed three attempts between the two of them. That's that's the World Cup there. And then you go down to you go down to Cape Town. And then you go, okay, the Cape Town test against the All Blacks, and you go, okay, well, Damian McKenzie kicks that, we'll probably lose that test match as well. And that's unfortunately the difference. The margins are so fine.
Yeah, but it shouldn't define the team, and I think it is important for that. And more so, I think, Flip, this is where we need to really, really say that we take rugby extremely seriously. Yeah. And Springbok rugby is so close to our hearts. But at the end of the day, it's just a game. And we can't now get personal, you know.
Yeah, that's why
start attacking his character and you know, and having a go at different levels of whatever, you know. I think that's where it just gets too much. I mean, no one regrets it and hates it more than Manie that he missed that kick.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But also,
we should have never been in that position, to be honest with you.
But it's part of, I think, this Bok team's evolution. Like, you've got to expose players, you've got to lose test matches to be able to know it's not happening in 2027 in a World Cup playoff match. You know, like, the players are going to make those mistakes before that. Luckily now it happens 3 years before the next World Cup, so you've got a chance to improve your skill set. If you Manie Boks, prove them wrong, say, listen, let's go back to the drawing board. Let's remodel our mental approach, remodel some technical issues that I have got in my kicking game, because clearly there is probably a bit of both. You know, and he's a great attacking player, and Rassie backs him for it.
And I think
you've got an opportunity to learn from this mistake. Certain players might on the weekend have not had the physical output that they want to. Yeah. You know, Rassie will tell, listen, partner, go down, go play URC, come back a better player. You know, like that's how this Bok team. Hence, we've got 30 of the best international players around at our disposal.
And I think, Schala, that's unfortunately the reality now with Manie, is that you almost need to differentiate between Manie as a fly-off and Manie as a kicker. You know, fantastic fly-off, fantastic attacking player, defensively he makes his tackles. He's not a dominant tackler like a Andre Pollard or a Sasha
Or
Gomezulu
Damien Willemse.
or Damien Willemse. But I mean, he can do a proper job for you. Unfortunately for him, though, and that's what he needs to realize is that, there is risk by selecting him as a fly-off with the goal kicking if you don't have someone else backing up as your goal kicker.
Yeah.
And for fly-off, that is a tough thing, But is he a bad player? Certainly not, And that's why I say you almost need to have two conversations now.
I think the approach to the game was like, we want to get a win. But also there was a lot of changes, 10 in total. So there was an element of experimentation with this game. If this was a World Cup a playoff, my gut feel, and the same 23 got picked, Hanre would have moved to 12.
Yes, when
Manie came on. Hanre would have stayed on the field for exactly that reason, to kick the winning goal.
Yeah, and if it was a different era, let's say you had Percy Montgomery at fullback,
No problem.
No problem, or someone like him.
But Monty's, look, a lot of Monty's been through it where, he went through, remembers kicking, changed his technique, came back and became one of the top. So it's a very fixable thing. I just think the abuse and whatever is it's unfair. Like you wake up on a Sunday and you obviously, you go through your social media, whatever, and some of the stuff you read is like, hold on, Jesus, people must just slow down a bit here.
But I think that's the key, Shimmie, is that you love going through and scrolling through your social media when it's going well.
Yeah.
And you hate it when it's going badly. But
Yeah.
it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
And you need to understand that if
With
you're
the
going to
good.
put yourself out there, whether it's for protein shakes or whatever, you need to be able to take the abuse that you'll be getting with that.
That was probably my key for moving on and trying to play overseas. Is when I sat down after a Stormers match, talking to a couple of the older blokes there, having a few beers, and half the team was posting social media pics of themselves. That was my key to say, listen, okay guys, I think I've missed the boat here. It's time to go find some older players. Let's go abroad, let's play in a more experienced team because I can't keep up here. Yeah.
Suppose, look, the game has changed, but chaps, quickly, let's focus on Argentina now. They seem to play their best rugby when they're behind.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, they're also going through a bit of a transition. You look at those two, is it Molina, the young locks, and was it Rubio?
Yeah, Rubio. They did really well.
Yeah, they did well, those two. Okay, Montero, Kremer, the experience there.
I think Kremer's in trouble for this week, and it looked like he did his MCL.
Yeah, with the hit.
Yeah.
Kuntupomi's done a good job there.
Really good. I think the whole mentality of the Argentinian team has changed completely. I remember, back in 2013, we beat them marginally. I think it was Salta or Mendoza, one of those places.
Yeah.
Then came back, and it was close. Obviously, the game that we won there. Then we played at Soccer City.
Oh yeah, and you hammered them by 50 or so.
Like 70 points.
Yeah, I remember. That
where I think back then they would, once they get behind, they almost give up.
Yeah.
Whereas now the mentality is totally differently, not as emotional anymore. Ability to come back into it, ability to change strategy with the coaching staff that they have, and very experienced coaching staff.
Kuntupomi's been around.
Yeah, Kuntupomi, Lobe, as a forwards coach, they've got a quality setup. And the semi-finalists last year, the World Cup guys.
Also guys who's been in that system for a long time, even when Czech was there and Graham Henry was consulting for them. But their style is loose.
Yeah.
When it's loose and fast, balls bouncing around, offloads, no rucks, fast pace, then they're amazing.
Yeah. Imagine rugby was professional there. How good they'd be. Because they don't have it all.
They tried it with the Jaguars.
I'm trying to imagine it. Yeah.
They'd be good.
Just imagine.
Yeah, but
there's no professional.
They tried the central contract program there with the Jaguars, where they got everyone out of Europe, played everyone internally, and I don't know if that really worked, because I think their strength is the fact that they've got all these guys playing different leagues all over Europe. You take the team in the late 90s, early 2000s, 2007, we played a semi-final against them. That was a bunch of international superstars that came together, and I think that is what made them so...
Mostly French-based.
Mostly French-based at the time, but
that's what the opening game.
Exactly.
2007.
That's what made them so strong, and I think at the moment you look at their team, and there's knowledge and IP from everywhere, and they put that together. And Felipe Contemporaneous was a Leinster player himself, and you see the way they attack against
Very
us.
successful there.
It's a very similar mentality to what Leinster would bring, or Ireland, where they attack us, the way they come with those late little sweeps and changes of direction. So, yeah, I think they're stronger when they play everywhere.
I think, Shimmie, it's we can very much compare to the Boks at the moment, with so many of our players being based overseas, but you have good management around the players based there, and the experience that they bring back into your squad, I think is of value for the team. So they've got, top 14 players, Premiership players, URC players, and I think when they come together and understanding what they want to achieve collectively, and having a management team that can put it all together, that's what makes them strong.
I suppose that they're used to it. The reality is, though, that you can't have, let's say they develop more players, younger players. Certainly a lot of those guys would want to play from home and get paid and go down to, play for your local club, play in Buenos Aires, have a big game there, rather than jumping on a plane to Europe the whole time. And spend half the year away from home, you play for your country, you travel a lot. But no one would have thought, though, that Argentina against South Africa, last game of the Rugby Championship, to win it.
Guys, I tell you what this does do, though, is Mbombela is going to fire up. Like the previous test match there, just to put it in context for people who weren't there, obviously a lot of the All Blacks players will remember this well. Normally like these big games at, not at Newlands, guys, at DHL Stadium, Cape Town, they fill up quite late because everyone's sort of in and around. The previous game there, when warm-up happened, there was 50,000 people in there. They drank the stadium dry before kickoff. Like, it's such a vibe. That whole stadium was bouncing up and down. If this was a dead rubber, I think you might be lulled into thinking like, okay, maybe, the Boks have won it. We're going there to watch the trophy get handed over. This is going to be epic. And like this Argentina side can put us under pressure with their attacking game.
Yeah. What do the Boks need to improve on for this weekend to get the result?
Defense.
Yeah.
Our lineouts are a concern as well at times. It'll be interesting to see who comes back, who's available. I haven't seen the whole squad. I don't know. Is Erge back yet? He's not.
No, he's at Leinster. He's training.
He's gone.
He's gone back there. Look, you can imagine Sia comes back.
Yeah, Peter Steff comes
Bongi,
back.
Malherbe, Peter Steff, the six guys,
Cheslin, Damien, Billy.
Yeah.
That's
a lot. That's a lot of ammo there.
100 Pollard fly for the weekend.
Yeah. Van Staden was good though on the weekend.
I thought so.
I thought Ox was very good and Van Staden was very good.
I think Ox was our man of the match, but then I also think Apelele Fassi was really good in his decision making. I mean, broke the running meters stats, like he was 130 running meters.
He was very good.
He was exceptional. And then, I think in the start, really, his first time I saw, and I think this is what Tony Brown's challenge was with Andre Pollard, is to dominate the gain line. His try assist to Apelele Fassi is beautiful off his left hand. Sometimes it gets a bit too wide and too lateral, but also turning the corner, being square, and then having options, whether it's running himself, was really good. Obviously we lost a bit of momentum after that, that second 20 in the first half. So, he sort of became a bit more of a game manager, and then the yellow card to Kurtley Arendse. Marco was good. Obviously then you missed the tackle on the little inside ball, for Carreras' try.
Yeah.
And people will look at that, but we all miss tackles, boys. Some of them have no ramifications, some of them, concedes a try.
Did you mention Bongi earlier?
Yeah.
Bongi or Bongi from.
So, there's some big, the big dogs are back. Yeah.
Damien,
so for me, our scrum was so dominant.
Yeah.
Obviously, if you're Rassie, you're going to say, listen, if you go to them, they can't chuck the ball to the number 8.
Yeah.
At least have half a straight feed. Because we couldn't get a hold. They had channel 1, but basically their 9 was lining up at the loose head's feet and then rolling it to the back. So they were getting it out without us putting pressure on them. So if you're Rassie, you say, listen, let's have a fair contest. Let's put it in half decent. And then our line-out, if we tighten out our line-out, because at the moment...
That will be the clips to the ref this week.
Yeah, we're forcing certain balls that's paired up with certain plays, and that's costing us, 3-4 lineouts a game. Where I think it's on when it's on. You can't force it if they're sitting middle back.
Take what's available.
Takes what's available, and I'd like us to have a bit more tempo. The All Blacks has got really good tempo. at the moment, but also the Boks of yesteryear with Victor Matfield, you hardly ever got to a line out, sat still, and then started moving around. It was up and in and out. Get that tempo up. Even though you take time to get the call through, that last 5 meters to the line out, up and down and into the vacuum, that happens in a split second. So I think that's important for us. And then, like John mentioned, our defense and our defensive system is important. Where do we go from here? Our tackle fight. And then individual tackles on the weekend was weak. I think we missed 27.
Yeah,
Victor didn't call sometimes even.
No, like John Smith said he had 25 calls himself, whether it was left eyebrow, right eyebrow, licking the nose, touching the left ear, touching the right ear.
Victor didn't call.
Yeah, the problem is when John Smith left, like the next guy thought, like, what does this mean?
That was Shimmie. But Shimmie was the next guy.
No, I had the unfortunate thing of doing the opposition lineouts against Victor. So I needed a shrink after everyone. Victor stolen another 20 balls of us. No, but I mean, Victor, it's incredible. Victor didn't even, there's no huddle, nothing. Victor literally, and no one could steal a ball of him.
No, he was a genius.
Yeah.
He was an absolute genius at line-out time. And also as a backline player, to be able to, especially just being able to force the middle of back.
Yeah.
Your space and just the length of the pass, then you can attack different channels, and it makes a massive difference.
I remember we started off with Victor and he goes up and he does his. The worst thing was standing in and around him as a supporter because, I mean, you just got to react to him. Like, you can't see what his face is doing. That's half a step back, 2 steps back. But then he'll used to run it, like all of us were part of the game leadership group, and then he goes, okay, back ball's on, and then he gave the backs freedom to call whatever. So for me as an open side flanker, it was the nicest thing when he said back ball's on, and I'd take this little cheat line to try and get to these guys. But like, he just forced it where he wanted. And I remember, if you played a test match where Victor made like 2 line-out calls, that was a lot.
Yeah.
And then he goes in, his options are not, and then he had like these bailout, obviously purple, blue, or yellow, and that was paired up with something. And eventually he goes, okay, luister mooi, listen carefully, and then he'll make a call. But like, it was
Never got greedy though. That's one thing about Victor. He sort of take the option that's on, then once it opens up.
Yeah.
He was very good like that. Talking about Victor, guys, Eben passes his record well. Selection pending.
Yeah.
Equaled it now, goes past it.
I'm going to answer that for you now. I just want to say something about the defense.
About the line-out.
No, because we spoke about lineouts needing to improve, but also defense. I think with this team, with a lot more experience or guys that's played together a lot more, will improve the defense as well. Eben, amazing.
Yeah.
The way that he plays, to be able to get to 128 test matches, it's incredible. Incredible.
Plus more. There'll be more.
There'll be way more.
No, there'll be, I mean, if he stays together, and like we can't, I mean, we hope he stays together. Like, rugby is, we all have been part of rugby where it decides to take something away from you, whether it's a left knee or 25 left knees like John has had. But like, I mean, playing 128 test matches is unbelievable. Like Victor had 2 goes at it. He retired and then he came back and, and then went again. But like, I mean, it's amazing. And his output for the Boks and the
his
Boks
output's
jersey
incredible,
is incredible. Even the weekend coming off the bench, like he's a tone setter for us. Him, Peter Steph de Toy, they play, they start. That's the bare minimum requirement to be a Springbok. And it's been exceptional for us. And long may it last.
But it's interesting, James Slipper passed George Gregan's record.
140 was.
But I mean, Gregan, he stopped, how long ago did Greig stop? He stopped a good, 10, 15 years ago?
Post 07, I think it was.
And you think about how long, so even what we're witnessing this weekend, we probably won't get to see, possibly for another.
But now that's my question. Would be, okay, Eben will keep going, but could we potentially have in the current group guys that might overtake him? Take like how old is Malcolm now?
Malcolm's on 70 plus tests, isn't he? He is close to 30.
And like Jesse Creel, which are 2-3 years younger. So
guys,
you're gonna have a lot of in the current crowd. You're gonna have a lot of centurions that will convert into being centurions from.
Guys, you just need a bit of luck on your side as well. Like we've got Eben has had a lot of injuries. But like, he's had them for his franchises and not for the Boks. Like, he's always been able to, when that injury happens, it happens when he's with his franchise and then he fronts up and he gets to the Boks. That can easily happen, you can ask me, it can happen the other way where you have a 3-year sabbatical in your international career and then your caps dry up, So
There's
You
an
know,
element of luck and goodwill.
you need massive luck, but like at the moment, and the trend of his career is that's the way it's been going. You can't put 150. He'll get to 150 for sure.
Yeah, it's also the management of the players now, more centrally managed. I think it's far easier to get there with the current system, and also the ability to, and obviously Eben hasn't done that, but you know, to play in Japan. You know, where take a Jesse Creel for example. Now again, he's been in Japan for a long time now, where you play far less rugby. So hopefully your career
The longevity is.
we have
expands.
Same
think
with
about a guy like Jacques Fourie, if we could select overseas players. If when he was in Japan, also Fourie got called back, but Fourie could have also gotten a lot more tests.
Yeah.
Jacques Fourie was there for a good 6-7 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, we just got to move on quickly. Australia, New Zealand.
Yes.
Again, similar to a Springbok game, New Zealand
close, yeah,
had a run. All of a sudden, I thought, waste of time, this game is done. Australia have this tremendous fight back.
5 games into the Rugby Championship, New Zealand still to score points in the last 20.
Yeah.
Look, that game.
Three disallowed tries.
I think that scoreline flatters the Australian side.
Yeah.
But like where they were really good is whenever they did get a 22 entry, they were super efficient. Like they pretty much scored. Like the first try from McWright was beautiful because New Zealand contests so hard under Razor Robinson. They chased forward over the back, something they picked up. Beautifully worked. But the All Blacks could have easily, turned halftime 40 something up, and then the game's done. But like Australia showed proper fight. The biggest issue for me with the Australian side, and that's where they were lacking against Argentina in that second test match, is line speed and tackle fight.
Yeah.
Like New Zealand can string 5-6 passes together before making contact, whether it's a second man play, a wraparound, a little offload. There's no intensity and bite in the defensive sets. It's too conservative, and then people also fall off. A simple tip pass or ball out the back. There's a dog leg.
What, the New Zealand defense?
No,
Australian.
There's a dog leg to be had, and you can't allow good players to be on the ball for 4 or 5 seconds at a time to make a decision, to pick off runners, to put a skill set on someone. You've got to ask him to have proper skill set execution in no time. So for me, if they defend passively this weekend, this New Zealand side will pick them off. And that's my biggest issue with the way they're playing. Their attack was actually really good, bar a lot of errors on the ball, but they're a young side, so they're going to make that.
Joe Schmidt on the right track?
I think it's a good result for Australia.
They needed something out of it.
Yeah, they needed something, but I agree with Schalk in that I don't see this coming weekend being the same. I think it's going to be a far bigger margin, and it was a couple of things that happened in the game, whether it's the discipline or the disallowed tries or whatever, that kept them in the game, and they managed to capitalize on it, and the stadium and the home crowd, etc., got behind them. I can't see it being the same.
Like they've got Angus Bell back, they've got Tupou back.
At least they're more competitive.
Then obviously at lock, I think they're still battling to have someone who's got a real,
They've got Frost and the other youngster.
real physical impact. But then Harry Wilson was good on the weekend.
Yeah.
When he does something, he's quite effective in his carries, and then also.
And McFreight being there as well.
Yeah, Fraser McWright was. McWright was good, and then they've got such exciting backs. Obviously when Currie Cup gets it, the whole crowd sort of fires up. But it's about not making that errors on the ball, which they do. And quite a few of New Zealand's tries came off the back of them, coughing up from deep. So. But mate, if the Springboks run at them and we have that much time on the ball, they're under big pressure. If the All Blacks, which we know in that first 40, they play this high tempo game, but their skill execution when they're fresh is the best in the world.
Yeah.
Then they drop off, and that's why if you raise it, you'll look, okay, but how can we keep that skill execution at the same level? And that's where 23 players come into it, and that's where you go like, okay, who's our bench who can drive those standards, make those big plays? Because like Damien McKenzie on the weekend, again, brilliant, but like line break, inside ball to Scott Barrett's on.
Unnecessary.
Don't throw the reverse chicken wing. You just pass it, you know. And I think for Razor, those little things is what's hampering his team.
But you make a good point, Schala, in that you go through that Australian team now, and at least there's a bit of consistency, so they can build on that. Angus Bell, Taniela Tupou, okay, locks, they're still trying to figure
it out. Ikitau, Paisami.
Yeah.
Where's Karevi?
And I don't actually, but Valentini, McWright, Wilson. loose Joe. Your midfielders are settled. You have Wright, Korobete,
And Callaway.
on the wing. So you build off of that. If you know that's your base. Lolosio at 10 seemed like they've settled with him. Then maybe, where is Karevi?
So for me, so they've got this Joseph Swahili, he's coming from the Roosters. He's a good player.
Yeah.
He's like a Israel Folau. You put him in that team next year.
What position?
You put probably fullback, outside back. He could cover fullback definitely, wing definitely, maybe outside centre.
Tom Wright's one of their best players in my view.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So where do you fit him in?
Midfield.
This guy's good. He's a proper. He'll be a superstar. Now you need a Karevi there. Sort of, he can get you over the game line. It opens up space. Skelton's a little bit old now. He's 32, 33.
Yeah.
Whether he's got the appetite for international rugby,
But Solakay, a lot. They had him on the bench.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, so you got a bit of that. Then all of a sudden, you look at that Australian team's got a bit of a hard edge.
Yeah.
They've got X Factor. 1 or 2 young guys will come through also. Then it's a different proposition. Then you're building with a young team and a squad that stay together there. So, sorry guys, your predictions then for this, obviously, you've insinuated that Australia are going to get a hiding.
Yeah, I reckon New Zealand 20 points.
Yeah, I've got similar feeling.
Yeah,
I remember the guy saying
20 points.
20 points and it not happening.
Springbok again?
The Boks
20 points.
by 20 points.
20 points. Boks 20 points this week.
I think so.
I
But
think
like,
so,
happens late in the game. Like, we're not going to blow these guys out the water. Yeah.
Yeah. Scala, we've got a gift for you. We played Near last week.
Yeah.
And you said Woolies ahead of Pick and Pay. So
Oh,
Woolies kindly have delivered a gift for you.
Oh, thank you.
What's a
Like, I've got no chance of beating Sean Summers in golf now. He's already messaged me. Yeah. He's already messaged me saying, like, okay, it's on, boys. We're just going to find a time in his busy schedule.
What does it say there, Scala? Read it out.
If the question is Woolies, the answer is yeah. The difference? I don't know.
Willie's team.
Woolies team.
Thank you, Woolies. Jeebus.
Thank you very much, guys.
We also said, what did you say? Did you say yeah? What did you say? Yeah, yeah,
I
Woolies.
stay neutral.
You
You
stayed
said neutral. You say protein shake.
Because I know.
Okay.
Because I know.
Like
Scala, let's see what's in there.
We know people both sides. So it was more about the relationship than the brand.
Yeah, like, we're trying to keep our relations going. I spoiled the one, unfortunately. Yeah, but Burger van der Merwe messaged me saying,
He was my neighbour.
Find
I
the
can
zip.
find the zip here, guys.
You got to zip it.
Yeah. Guys, this is Braai snacks. Okay,
Yeah.
let's get to the important part first. Okay, there we go.
Just pop
Here
it.
we go.
Here you want to. Guys, there's a million things in here. Must I open everything?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, we've got biltong. We've got some crisps.
Crisps.
Caramel truffles. That's
Yummy.
lekker.
More biltong?
Droewors.
Bullet drovers, sorry.
Can't go without buying these.
Chuckles.
Chuckles. Prawn cocktail chips.
Jeebus.
My favorite. That's my favorite. I've got more chuckles.
Chuckles. That's
How long is this show? Dried fruit apple.
Okay, we've seen enough. We've seen enough. Stop showing off.
Pretzel pack.
Okay.
Hey, Shimmie, I'll find one for you here too.
There we go.
The raisin and chocolate.
There we go. Okay, we're gonna play Yeah off Near again. I'm out of the mix. Jean de Villiers is gonna ask the questions.
Yeah,
I don't know why I'm laughing already. Okay, Jean, let's shoot.
Okay, so it's my questions today. Ja of nee?
Yeah.
Okay. Is a double brandy more important than your partner at a braai?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, with Coke Zero though.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Was Shimmie actually banned from Uber and Uber Eats?
Yeah.
Tell us why.
No, I can't. No. We don't have time. We got to finish the show.
He's back though. He's back.
I'm back though.
Is Argentina a dangerous place to tour for single Springboks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Hudson's better than Steers?
Yeah.
I'll go for yeah, because I can sit there and have a beer.
Where?
At
Hudson's.
The Hudson's is better, yeah.
You
What did I
just
say?
said you said near.
The
Was Hudson's
question
better than
is
Steers? Sorry.
Hudson's better than Steers?
Yes, definitely. I know Dave Rod, the owner of Hudson's, is a
Yeah.
good mate of
Okay,
mine.
there we go.
And they look after a lot of the rugby boys.
I do that-
Hudson's, yeah. Hudson's, yeah.
We're going to be very hungry next week
Yeah.
for the show, just for, what's his name?
Can we bring some vegan
Dave.
burgers for Schalk?
Please don't.
Does Shimmie always fall asleep on nights out?
Yeah.
Sorry, I answered that one. Will a South African team win both the URC and Champions Cup this year?
No, I can't see us win both.
Champions Cup is. Do you have to play away in the playoffs?
Yes.
Yes.
That's the problem right there. Yeah.
I'll put it this way. If, maybe not on both fronts, if someone like the Sharks run hot in one of them.
Yeah.
So say, for example, they don't run hot in the URC, they run hot in the
They
Champions.
focus only 1-1.
Like last year when they won the challenge, I think they can. With that team, if they get into playoffs with a fully fit, all the Boks involved, I think they're going to be bloody hard to beat.
Here's my view. If you have, because there's not a South African team in every group, right? So my view is that if, actually I'm not 100% sure of the stat, but last year it was the case because we only had 2
80%
teams
of stats are made up on the
Yeah.
spot. Just go ahead.
Because we only had 2 South African teams in the
Crack
group.
on, boy.
The group that does not have a South African team in it, the winner will come from that group. The reason I say that is because of the travelling. It's difficult to win away from home when you travel across.
And there's URC
cross
travel
country,
also. Yeah.
and URC travel. And also to win the Champions Cup, you need home ground advantage for the playoffs, and almost impossible to get home ground advantage if you don't win all your pool games.
Okay,
Almost.
Was that a year-on-year question?
I'm going to go to the bathroom quick.
Okay,
It's
cool.
Fine.
Okay.
Just Schala, we're done.
Cheers,
So-
guys.
Cheers, Schala. Thank you, guys. And on that note, we're going to wrap up the Boks Office. The last test of the year. The Springboks take on Argentina for the Rugby Championship. We'll be discussing
It's not the
that.
last test of the year.
The last home test for the Springboks of the year. And don't disturb me ever again. son.
Continue.
Thank you very much. They'll be playing their last test in South Africa against Argentina at Nelspruit. It's going to be awesome there. We're going to be discussing it next week, Monday. Schalk Burger is off to the Alfred Daniels. Poor thing. So we'll have Jean de Villiers
we
and
got
someone
next
else. We'll have a secret.
Who do you want?
Who do you want? Tell us
Who
who
do
you
you guys
want.
want?
Tell us who you want, and we'll get them for you, hopefully. So see you next week. The Boks Office is now closed.
No one was Braai.
Yeah.